Welcome to the KYP podcast, a show about being yourself unapologetically and letting go of things that prevents you from reaching your goals. My name is Dany. I'm here with my co-host,
KYP James.
Kevin G.
And just the other day, I was at a coffee shop and I was ordering my coffee. And, the thing that was weird is, especially Starbucks, right? You order like a black coffee. It's like $3, $4. And then when they flip the POS system to you, it's like, bro, why do I have to give you 20 fucking percent for a black coffee where you poured it from a machine and just hand it over to me? Like, I understand if, let's say, the cook in the back is making like delicious food. When I went to Mexico or Punta Cana, I can't remember which one, we had a restaurant and it was all you can eat because we were in a resort. So I love whitefish and they had this dish with tomato and fish. And I ate one and I loved it so much. My dad was like, okay, can you order another one? So I get 2 and then 2 turns to 3, then turns to 4. And then my mom's like, is it that good? So my mom gets it too. My sister gets it too. My dad. So the poor fucking chef in the back is cooking 8, 9 fishes to a point where he walks out. He takes off his hat. He's like, sir, do you like our fish that much? My dad's like, yeah, of course. And then he slips him a 20. And the guy 20 is like his entire paycheck. He's like, oh, thank you so much, sir. But the thing about North America is tipping culture is starting to get fucking way out of control. And I think it's such an interesting topic to talk about. And that's why today I want to talk about, number one, North America versus the rest of the world. Why is tipping a thing? Number 2, has tipping gone out off of the rails? And number 3, should we tip every time, even if it's what was it?
Should we tip every time even though we don't get exceptional service?
Exactly. And so I know you guys have some strong feelings about it, so I'll leave the floor to you guys.
Yeah, so this is a topic that I wanted to talk about because I've seen on social media that it's been an issue, and I get it because tipping in North America versus the rest of the world is completely different. So an example, lived in Canada my whole life. Tipping was always part of the culture, especially in Montreal. Every time I would get a coffee, I go to some place where they just serve me coffee. I don't even sit down. You still have to tip. You go to a restaurant, obviously you have to tip. To the point where sometimes if you don't tip, or if you tip less than 15%, which is the cultural norm here, they will actually complain to you and ask you why you tipped lower than 15%. So this is North America versus, say, I went to Asia last year and there's no such thing as tipping. And I think I was in Korea when I was a kid. During high school, I went to Korea during the summer, and we were at this burger joint. And I was so used to tipping, I gave like the change that was left from the meal I had, and I gave it to the waiter. And the waiter said no. He's like, take it. I don't want it. So I just thought that was so weird. And my friends were like, no, you don't tip in Korea. Yeah. So I just thought that was such a culture shock. And I don't know how you feel about Kevin. You just went to Asia. Did you tip at all?
It was exactly the same as your experience in Korea. So I was in Japan, and it's the same thing. Even if it's a couple dollars, like I almost wanted to tip because I didn't want to carry the change in my pocket.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, these guys are chasing you out the door to give you back, 50 Japanese yen, 50 cents in yen, right?
It'll imbalance their
cash flow at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was wondering this. I guess I was too lazy to search it up. But do you guys know where that comes from in Asia? Like the origin behind not tipping?
No. Do you want to enlighten us?
No, I just said I'm too lazy to search it up on Google.
You guys could talk. I'll try to find it.
I mean, okay, well, let me guess.
Yeah. You think it's a...
I think it's... They're supposed to... So basically, if I work at a restaurant, it was my choice to work at the restaurant. So basically, okay, no, let's break down the concept of tipping. Why do people tip?
Yeah.
Right. So you tip because the person that's working is giving you exceptional service, right? That's why you tip. You don't pay. So perhaps, you feel bad for them. They don't get paid that much. They have minimum wage. So you give them a tip because they're working so hard for such a, for that type of work. But I think in Asia, I'm guessing is that they work so hard and they work so efficiently that they're just doing their job. Like that's how the restaurant service should be. You come to their business, you come to their restaurant, their store, you need to give them exceptional service so that they come back. Why would you need to tip them?
I feel like in Asia, restaurants don't fall into the category of services that you tip for. But there are definitely still services in Asia that tipping is a custom, right? For example, I got a haircut there, barbershops. I searched up online.
They accept tips at barbershops?
Yeah, it's customary to tip your barber. It's still, I don't. But actually, in a lot of other
the salons, you don't in Korea.
I'm
pretty sure.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think I was in Hong Kong. And that's a lot more North American, a lot more international.
Sense. Yeah.
So for there, restaurants you don't tip, taxis you don't tip, but for some reason the barber you do. But I want to bring it back to North America. I feel like when I was growing up, my understanding of where you would tip is if you go to a full service restaurant, you tip. Haircuts, bar you tip. Hotel services, when you're leaving your hotel, you leave some change, valet, things like that, are the regular places to tip, right? But I feel like in recent years, I'm in the food court of an office building, grabbing a slice of pizza. Person turns around the POS machine and it's 18, 20, 25, 30%. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You get a smoothie at Jamba Juice or, Booster Juice.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's every single...
it's just customary to have the POS system to have a tipping option.
Yeah, pretty much anything where you purchase through a POS system, they have the tip enabled now. And,
it's in your face too.
Yeah. And the reaction it gets from me, it's almost like I feel disrespected almost. I don't know. Like, it's already so expensive. Like, does that mean every single purchase I make in life, I'm tipping? I feel like it's just a matter of time. You're in Zara or whatever, and, you have to tip for that too.
Tip? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Dany, did you get the definition, by the way?
Yeah. So according to Paul Wachter from the New York Times, it says that the practice of tipping began in Tudor England. In medieval time, tipping was a master-serf custom wherein a servant would receive extra money for having performed superbly well. And from another source, it says that the practice was imported from Europe to America in the 1850s and 1860s by Americans who wanted to seem more aristocratic.
Oh, so just showing off.
Yeah, so it's basically when you had slaves or a servant, and you just wanted to give them more money because they did the job really well, which kind of translates to what we do now, besides the fact that
that they're not slaves.
They're not slaves.
It almost started as like a status symbol, right? Because this elite group was doing this practice of tipping their servants, and then others wanted to appear aristocratic and started doing.
I'm gonna
same.
Tell you right now, I ain't no elite, and I still tip, man. I still go paycheck to paycheck, bro. So I don't know what the hell I'm tipping for.
Would you enjoy tipping more?
Tipping should be for people that make over six figures. Yeah, a certain amount. All right, that should be the law.
Would you feel better about tipping if every time you tip, you're like, "Oh, thank you, my lord"?
Honestly, I feel fucking great. Yeah, for sure. But that's exceptional service. So it comes down to tipping. Comes down to if the person had given you exceptional service.
Yeah.
But why would you tip for someone that's doing their job, taking your order or making your coffee?
I think it brings
that the job itself? Do I get tipped for sending out emails all day?
Yeah.
In my corporate job?
I mean, if we're gonna do it, if fucking the pizza shop is gonna do that to me, or the fucking Jamba Juice, I should get a tip every time I send an email.
Yeah. Imagine if you call
I'd be rich.
Imagine if you call tech support because of your PC that's broken.
Oh my God.
And then it's like, welcome to tech support, just letting you know that this call is recorded for training purposes. I'd like to also know that if you like my service by the end of this call, feel free to leave me a 5-star review on our website and offer me a tip. You'd be like, hey, yo, what the fuck? I just need my computer to be fixed. But you notice that it's mostly in restaurant industries and, service-based services, but mostly food and drinks. I think different types of like custom services, right?
So there's also
hairdressing,
dog walkers now. Ask for tips now on the apps.
But one thing that amazes me, right, is when it comes to tipping, it's such a weird practice because you're basically telling your customers to pay for your underpaid workers.
So
that's one of the issues, right? We're tipping because they don't make a decent wage, right?
So basically the corporations are pushing the price pressure onto us. We don't want to pay them more, so you guys do it.
You think so?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
So do you think that if they got rid of the tip system and they paid them a decent wage, do you think the services would go up though?
No.
But don't they have more costs?
So that's an interesting point. I feel like in full service restaurants and, when it comes to barbershops, when it comes to things like that, the tip system incentivizes them to give you a good service, right? But then when we start to see tipping in like fast service, like, the Starbucks, Burger King, these types of places where there's literally not much more they can do to change the service or change the experience. That
it depends on the industry, or like the type of like a restaurant.
If the McDonald's person is reading me a poem while handing me my Big Mac, okay, fine. 15%.
So tell me about yesterday when you had
Thai Express. Oh my God.
Sponsored by Thai Express.
Okay, that's a perfect example because you know what? They did ask me to tip on the fucking POS system.
They're crazy, dog.
Man. So basically, I remember growing up, getting a pad Thai at Thai Express that would run you like $12 after tax.
Max was $12. Yeah.
Right. So yesterday I went to the Thai Express. I didn't even get the motherfucking combo. I just got
the noodles.
And after tax, that bitch was $19.75. And then it was 18%, 20% or 25%.
It didn't even go with 15?
Yeah. I hit the fucking no tip button so quick. I'm like, what the fuck? And
was the service exceptional?
Like nothing. No.
Wait, you want number one? Okay.
He said,
here you go.
The interaction went down. Okay, and number one, and then the homie did.
In the back with a wife.
Walking.
Yeah, he put 3 things in a wok. Boom, boom, boom. 5 seconds, and then gave it to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe
what I'm
you have to tip
for.
Because he's so fast at cooking that pad soup, dog.
I guess so, but that goes back to the thing, like, I reply my emails pretty fast.
He's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job, right?
Yeah.
But I think what's different in a full service restaurant is it's kind of a more hands-on service experience. They're walking you through the menu. They're taking you to your seat. They're answering any of your questions.
Okay, so 5-star, like say Michelin star restaurant.
It doesn't even have to be Michelin.
It doesn't have to be Michelin.
Yeah.
It just has to be like, say, full
Sit
course
down.
service,
Wine
list, etc. Like they're actually trained.
Full service. They're bringing it to my table. At Thai Express, I had to fucking take this little box and walk it home, man. If they walk it home for me, absolutely.
We'll get you a car so that you could go home, so that the meal is, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think right now, speaking about when James mentioned like maybe you should get a tip because they're working quicker, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to the service you receive, if you're happy or not when you give a tip. But I think now, especially with the minimum tip that you should give, like it's not even a law, right? It's just a social norm. It's customary to give 15%, and I think in Toronto it's like 18, if I recall.
Bro, he
correctly.
was just saying Pad Thai Express had 18 starting, dog.
Yeah.
So I have to go to custom tip and do 15 if I want to tip instead of. Why is it 18 already?
But then that's why, like, I think this entire tipping thing is starting to get out of control, because there's a lot of things out there that, if you think about it, right? Like, yeah, the server is, even if you're talking about hands-on experience with the restaurant, right? A lot of people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know the cooks don't share the tip with the staff.
They don't?
No, they don't.
Really?
The cooks don't.
I thought they would split it.
No, I think sometimes like the cook don't even get like a part of their tips.
I think the cooks get paid better.
Yeah, probably they get paid better.
Okay.
But then that's why I'm just like, it's getting out of control to a point where, let's say if you order on Uber Eats, right? If I order for an entire like room of friends, like we're like 10 people, we're going to order like 10 dishes, 20 dishes. It's going to be like $150 on Uber Eats, $150, $200. And then the guy who's bringing all that food to us
is getting
15, 20% of that $200 when he just has to carry the food, jump in his car.
Yeah.
And bring it to you, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the tip should go to restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant who made the food. Like, yeah, I'll give the guy like extra money.
Yeah, I do, with the food delivery specifically, I do believe the driver should get some. But the problem with these Uber, DoorDash platforms is they're already marking up the price so much.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, Uber is fucking the restaurants. They're taking 30% of whatever the restaurant's selling it for. So now the restaurant has to mark up the prices of their items on the Uber platform. So it's more expensive when you order on Uber versus if you go into the restaurant. And now, something that should have been like $15 is already $25, not including the driver's tip.
Yeah.
So now I'm super not incentivized to tip the driver.
Well, I think that's just it's the corporate greed.
It's the
specifically for Uber.
Yeah.
Fucking greedy as shit, man.
Yeah.
But then it also comes down to you talked about corporate, a lot of these payment systems, I feel like it comes from the POS systems. It comes from the payment processors that they allowed for this new feature on the, on the card machine to have that, to set a default tip, to set the tip options. Back in the day, even at full service restaurants, it was all cash, first of all. So it was completely up to you.
You didn't have to do 15% because you're like, oh, I'll give you $1 because I have $1.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The 15% was the social norm.
Yeah.
Now it's an actual option on the fucking the payment system.
Yeah, and it's exactly that price.
Yeah.
And it's like, even like a small tangent, but not even tipping system, right? This POS system made it so easy so that you can just take money out of your wallet to give to different things. Like I go to the grocery store, it's like, or a restaurant, and then it's like, oh, do you want to give 15, 18, 25% tip? I'm like, okay, let me give 15. And then it's like, oh, do you want to give $2 for the Cancer Research Association? And I'm there and I'm looking at no or $2 in red, and then the person behind the counter is like staring at me like, so do you hate kids with cancer or not? I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Why do you put me on the spot like that?
So that's the thing with tipping. It's like it sort of ties into guilt.
Yeah.
So there's my experience with tipping is that like I have such a hard time not tipping because I go to the same person every day. So the coffee shop downstairs from my office, I see her every day. And I feel like if I don't tip, I won't get, like, I feel like the service will be shittier.
Yeah. And also, you have to see her again tomorrow.
Yeah. So if she like, oh, this guy doesn't tip, like over and over again, then she's just like, oh, this is just, he's cheap, or, it sort of ties into like, if I don't tip, I'm not gonna get the service fast enough, like I mentioned earlier, or you know, maybe she's not gonna put enough love into my coffee, you know, because usually, like, I remember tipping well at Myriad on Mackay, and they would remember my order.
Yeah.
And they would also give me free stuff sometimes. So it like, I feel like if you don't tip, it's like a double-edged sword, right? If you tip, you're wasting more money. If you don't tip, they're giving you shittier service.
Yeah, it's for me when I go to the bar I usually go, sometimes I walk in and they're happy to see me, so they give me like a free shot.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, yo, if I would have paid for that shot, it would have costed $5. I might as well just give that $5 to you guys directly. So I would tip them like $5.
I think when it comes to your usual places,
it's different, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit different, right? I had a question for you guys, you know, because different businesses can set whatever they want as the tip options, as the defaults. Does what they set affect how you tip and what you tip?
100%.
100%, right?
Yeah, if they start at 18, 20, and sometimes 25, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, some places start at 20.
No, custom 15.
Yeah, I
like they're being greedy at that point,
Yeah.
I feel, you know.
And I've also had experiences, you know, going back to the food court type establishments.
Yeah.
I'll see, you know, 2%, 3%, 7%. I'm so much more likely to tip.
Oh,
when it's like
I know that. You know, Cocoa Bun in Chinatown?
Cocoa Bun.
It's,
a lot of Asian places
it's
do
like
that.
10%.
Yeah.
And then, but then, why would you even tip at Cocoa Bun? You're picking your own food with your tongues and the board. You're picking, and they're just like tip, 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 put it in the bag.
Yeah.
You know, why would you even tip at that point?
So if you're if you're doing a business that traditionally people don't tip, and you're gonna implement that system, I think the advice is to make it very low, like have the option start off really
like
low.
8%. Yeah. So if like that establishment does not usually get tip.
Yeah, exactly. If it's like a McDonald's and you know they set it at like 3%, 5%, 7%, you know, probably 50% of the time I'm like, okay, fine.
It kind of yeah,
it's like $1. Okay,
not even, man. Yeah.
Take it. You know what I mean?
But it's, I think also when it comes to like tipping being out of control is especially when you go in big groups, right? And
more than 6 people.
More than 6 people.
And it's automatic 15, 18? No, 18%.
Yeah, and apparently in Toronto, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a tip and then there's another 18% on top because you guys are over 6 people.
Yeah, I think there's certain like, you know.
I got trapped in that once.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was so mad.
Bro, you're a restaurant. You're supposed to cater. Like, what's the difference with 8 people sitting at one table versus 4 people sitting on one table, 4 people sitting at the other table?
That's true.
Some places will have like the automatic 15% service charge onto your bill, and then when they come,
they won't even tell you.
No, exactly.
They won't even tell you.
I got fooled once.
And then when they come with the for the payment,
you pay another 15%. You
got another 15.
So you paid 30% in tip.
Yeah.
Another area that's out of control sometimes is the fucking nightclubs.
Oh, bro.
Oh my God. Especially if it's really busy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm drunk and it gets me a lot. they get my ass a lot. And it'll be like, you know, the pretty female bartender, you know, she sees it so busy. She sees I'm drunk. And then I order like, you know, a few shots, and then there's no tip option. It's already set. She already set 25%, and you know I just tap my card.
That's crazy, bro.
And then it's like 3 seconds after, I'm like, oh my God, I got fucked.
Jeez, you had that happen to you?
100%. Yeah, multiple times.
Like a lot of them just put the tip on automatically, so you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they do that at Picnic Electronique.
Yeah.
In the summer.
Bruh.
It's already set, bro. They just give me your card. I'll tap it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sus.
And it's so like, in order to change that, first of all, you're in this busy nightclub. You
can't
busy
talk.
Party. You got to put your drinks down. You got to slow the momentum and be like, oh, excuse me, can you, you know, I want to tip you 15%. And then she has to cancel the fucking thing and then reset the tip for you.
And then you look like an idiot.
Yeah, nobody's gonna do that, right? Because you're gonna have to buy more drinks later on too, and this girl's never gonna serve you.
Speaking of clubs, the worst thing about the clubs that's out of control is when you're trying to get bottle service.
Oh my god,
they force you to tip them.
Yeah, 100%.
The amount of, and so minimum bottle service is 200, right?
Yeah.
So already 18% of that $200 is already part of your bill. It's just like, why?
Wait, is it $200 with a 15 on top, or is it?
Yeah. So say that's just for one bottle. So say we have 1,000, we have like 15 people coming. It's $1,000 the whole night. It's 150 tip automatic. So
What the
1,000,
fuck?
150 you have to give to the guy.
And it's crazy because those bottles that are $300 are like $30
They're literally not serving you, man. They're just at the beginning they're giving you all your drinks, your juice, your cups. But after that, they fuck off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the service you're giving me?
Well, maybe it's the woman coming up to you with the sign and the
Not all clubs have that.
Yeah, there's some clubs that do proper bottle service.
Yeah.
As in like they pour, like there's a person assigned to your table and they're pouring every shot. You know, they're pouring, they're mixing your drinks. Fine, but even that, you know, it's a bottle of Jameson for $200. It's $30 at the store. You know what I mean?
And I got another example.
Yeah,
and I'll ask you guys.
what, strip club?
Okay, you go to a club. You go to the washroom after taking a couple drinks.
That's such an awkward interaction.
Hold on. I know where you guys are going. You had a couple drinks with your buddies. You go to the washroom, and you see the dude in the washroom with the towel, the perfume, the gum. So you're like, shit. You take a piss, and you just like side eye. You know the fucking guy's there waiting for you, and it's really fucking close. You finish your piss, you go wash your hands. The guy's like, right away, paper towel. Here you go, sir. Gum. Dior Sauvage. and then I'm like, sorry, man, I got no change.
Oh my god!
How do you feel about that? You think that's out of control? Is that outrageous?
I just feel bad for the dude, man.
So you want to tip him?
I want to tip him, but I just wish that whole thing did
not exist.
You know? Oh man,
it's so invasive, bro.
And I pee a lot in the clubs.
You see the dude 5 times.
I see it 5 times within an hour, bro. Oh man, my strategy is just smile as big as I've ever smiled and give the biggest thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know?
This does not pay my bills, son. Thank you does not pay my bills.
Oh man, either that or I just fucking avoid eye contact. And
so the last time we went to the club at Francesco's, there's a guy waiting at the club.
Exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yo, Kev, you got change on you? He's like, no, I don't. I already tipped him. He said he already tipped him.
I did not tip him.
You didn't tip him.
I did not say that.
I feel like you did. I already gave him a tip.
I said like, I don't tip. I don't tip for that. Oh no! What are your thoughts on that, Dany?
Yo, bro, I feel so bad.
I feel so bad, man.
But that's the thing, right? Like, a part of me, like I got three point of views.
Yeah.
The first part of me is guilt. Like, dude, this guy is going out of his way. Maybe he's paid to do that, but I feel bad and he's waiting here all night. He doesn't even have a fucking chair.
No, he's standing all night.
He's standing all night just handing out towels.
You know that guy doesn't get paid shit.
Yeah, he's probably paid $5 an hour.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, am I really going to get charged for peeing out here?
Yeah.
Like,
Then
every step of the way.
The second part of me says, yo, like, if you guys want to offer this service, then it just makes your club more exclusive and you're helping out your patrons.
Yeah.
So it should be part of the value of being at your club, right? If I'm going to go to a club, I'm like, yo, this club's whack. Like, I had to pay entrance fee. The other one, I paid the same entrance fee. I got in. Someone greeted me. Someone took a flashlight to bring me up the stairs so I don't fucking fall on my face. And there's a dude in the bathroom that sprays Dior Sauvage on me and helps me wipe my hands. Yo, that's the club I want to be.
And they don't expect a tip.
Yeah, and they don't expect a tip.
Yeah.
So that's the second part of me. And the third part of me says, yo, if you're going to offer a high-end service like that, just makes the cover fee a lot more. So then
I would prefer that.
So then you pay everything up front, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Think of it as a Michelin star. Most people are like, oh, why am I going to eat omakase? I'm getting like 10 pieces of fish for like $400. No, you're paying for the chef designing the menu, presenting it to you, the waiters being super nice to you.
Sommeliers.
Yeah, everything included in the service. And at the end, you tip because tipping culture, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But the price of it is already worth the experience.
Yeah.
But another angle, I'm sure there are people who do tip at every stage in those environments. Like, I think we're just not the demographic.
No, exactly.
You know, there's definitely like the high roller type that's, you know, buying $10,000 of champagne and then fucking tipping the dude. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the elite. That was the elite we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, the ones who do the tipping for the status.
$200 tip is $2 for them.
So tipping is out of control, and also maybe we're just broke boys.
Yeah.
I think for me, when it comes to tipping, right? Like if we jump to the last topic, I fully believe that tipping should be fully abolished completely.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that if you want to make something part of your service,
charge more.
Charge more. Charge more. If people can't afford to come to your place, then like whatever. Like that demographic is like
charge more and pay the workers more.
Pay the workers more. Be more ethical about it.
Yeah.
Right? Why is the office worker why is the consultant at Deloitte or KPMG or whatever being paid a massive salary just to have fucking PowerPoints open all the time to clients? But like the worker who's working 24/7 isn't paid like a fair wage. Like at least make it so that
there's a disparity.
Yeah.
You know, like some people, it's just a matter of profit and greed.
Yeah.
So for me, when it comes to, let's say, Maison Le Parem, like my suit store, the client walks in, we greet him, we sit down, we talk, we listen to everything that he has to tell me. I help him with his wardrobe. I give him my phone number. I'm like, hey, listen, if you need some help with your wardrobe, just send me a message, send me pictures. I can help you choose your clothing. He comes in, I serve him a coffee or a glass of whiskey, and then I listen to him. But I don't upcharge the client. Like our price to sell the suit is the price to sell the suit.
Yeah.
I just do it because I actually enjoy talking with my customers and stuff. Yeah, I could charge like $6,000 to come here and you have a full service. But that's not what I want this place to be. Like, we just want to sell the suit, and yeah, you can come in, then fuck off. I would still sell you the suit, the same thing. But it's because I actually enjoy my job that I give a better service. And I think that's different. It's because I think the tip system incentivizes workers to work harder and give better service.
It was supposed to.
I think my alternative is just abolish the minimum tipping. Keep the tip, but then if people don't tip, don't look at them wrong.
Oh,
because right now there's such a negative connotation about, hey, you didn't tip me. Did I do something wrong? Which is good to have feedback. But when
it's expected to tip at least minimum.
It's expected to give a tip when, number one, my steak is overdone. My steak is cold because everyone got their dishes first. Like, I don't want to tip you 15 because like my experience was shit.
Yeah.
But I still have to tip you because I don't want you to side eye like you broke boy.
Honestly, my biggest gripe about tipping today is the additions of non-traditional businesses that you used to didn't have to tip, and now Thai Express is fucking looking at me for a tip. I was perfectly fine with restaurants. You have to tip. My barber, 100%. Gotta hook that guy up. He does a very, very important job. In those scenarios, even if the service is not great, I'm fine because that's the ritual, that's the tradition. Like, right. I'm fine with
You're
that.
Just
right?
Conditioned, man.
And especially in restaurants, I like that service, especially if it's a nice restaurant. The waiter's going through all the steaks. Oh yeah, this was sourced from fucking Australia. The cows were massaged. This was his grandfather and stuff like that. Fuck yeah, you deserve a tip, 100%. But Thai Express, McDonald's, I'm sorry, guys.
You know what would be
that.
really interesting instead of tipping is, for some reason, commissions are only applied to sales, right? Like imagine instead of tipping the waiter, you have
they get commission.
If the waiter is able to push products and push stuff, and they get a commission off of the sales they produce, that would incentivize them to get more money.
Yeah.
But wouldn't put the burden on the customer. Like you don't see a customer walk into LV and then you buy like a $20,000, like an Hermes bag, pay $20,000 and then tip the salesperson. The salesperson goes out of their fucking way to like message you, call you, hey, there's a drop. Like, come to our back room stuff. You don't tip them 15%. You just buy the bag. And then the company says, you sold our bag.
There we go.
Here's like 5%. Here's 10%.
Yeah. No, what they do have commission, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think it comes down to in those certain fields, the employers just don't pay enough wages. Like I also worked in the service industry. You know, I worked at a lot of restaurants, and you know, having that experience definitely incentivizes me to always tip in restaurants. You know, I fuck with that because I know it's fucking tough. The salary's not great. You live off the tips, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that was like Dany said, the restaurants could easily have a commission structure or pay more or, you know, whatever it may be. But now that is kind of spreading to new areas, you know, it's strange, man. The economy's tough. It's $20 pad thai, man.
Yeah, imagine tipping for literally every process that goes through.
Yeah.
Like you want to order food, okay, you have to tip the guy who slaughters a cow. You have to tip the guy who drives the food to the restaurant. You have to tip the cook. You have to tip the company who made the packaging because they're like, yeah, our packaging's pretty cool. You have to tip the graphic designer who did the menu and everything because they deserve a piece of stuff. It's because of their cool logo that you buy their stuff. You tip the waiter. Next thing you know, you buy a pad thai and you spend like $400.
It's worth $400. Yeah, I mean, tipping is definitely, I'll still tip for as long as I live here. But I'm just saying it's kind of nice not to tip in different countries.
Yeah,
you know, when I visit.
Great. Yeah.
But like when I went to Cuba, man, like I had like
you went to Cuba recently too, right?
Yeah, I went in June, and man, like they don't even. I feel like the service was as shit, but I have to tip so that they fucking look at me to give the service. Like they won't talk to you. Yeah. They won't do anything. And then there's the band, okay? There's this band, this annoying band, and they play good music. They come to every table, they sing a song, and then
yeah.
You know, it's like expected in these countries. I think our North American culture has really really provides I'd say their salaries, right?
Oh,
they capitalize on tourists, right?
Yeah.
In every way possible. But it's almost like they're like there's a lot of pressure when you go to you went to Punta Cana, right?
Yeah.
Like the tip is like
high pressure.
Yeah, it's high pressure. They work hard for it, and then it's expected to give the tip.
Yeah, they guilt you. They do everything.
but the service is amazing over there. The food and the service.
I don't know, man. Cuba was not that
Cuba
great.
was trash
So
for
Cuba
me.
is specific. I think
Mexico, like Cancun area. I'm sure it's good, but I've seen better.
You know, it brings back to the question, right? When is it okay to tip? I think it's not okay to tip when you get unsolicited service.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the guy with the fucking towel in the washroom. Like I can
Guy with the towel.
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody asked for that, right? Like
Yeah.
you know, if
Like the band in Cuba,
The band?
it was unsolicited. I didn't want it.
let's say
They
if
just
you
come
have
to you.
a sommelier coming by and he's just like presenting you his bottles, you're like, can you give me a good recommendation? And then he gives you all the experience, all of his stuff that he paid money for that. He has experience of that.
He went to school for that.
He went for school for that.
Yeah.
And he gives you a great bottle. The least you could do at the end is like, hey, bro, that was a great recommendation. I know, like, I paid the restaurant for the bottle,
Keep
but
doing a
here's
good
like,
job.
keep
Yeah.
doing a good job. Here's like $20, $50.
Yeah.
Like I would do that, but like all these unsolicited services. Sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck? Why do I need to tip you? I didn't even need that.
Yeah, that's it. And like the social pressure.
The social pressure behind it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll still be tipping.
Yeah. Your Cuba.
But I'm more careful. I used to, when I was a kid, I would just tip. Yeah. 18%. Oh, it's 18%. Oh, yeah. But that's only places where I really go often. And then I have a conversation with them. They know my order, I think that's worth it because you're making a connection and there's a relationship there. But yeah, Thai Express
is crazy, man.
I really hope I don't get fucking caught on that because it's such a habit sometimes. You know how you do your code on your phone? Like you don't even think about it. I feel like when you're like paying, it's like automatically you do 15. So I'm scared to do that.
When they first started implementing at places like Thai Express, they got me so many times for, at least for the first 3 months. And then I'm thinking about it like, this is crazy. Yeah. This is crazy. I'm going to go broke.
Stay mindful.
Yeah. So at those, kind of non-traditional places, I'm very happy to say no.
We're definitely not getting a sponsor from McDonald's, are we?
No. Not
or
from
Thai Express.
No. But in restaurants, I'm definitely the type of guy who...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Service is a little under, a little over. I'm always going to give you at least 15%.
Yeah.
If you super wow me...
I agree.
You might get 20, 25. Yeah.
I think, it brings back to the topic of, when should we tip, especially when it's to go.
Yep.
I do firmly believe that a lot of, number one, custom services... Like when we were talking about the sommelier.
Yep.
Yes, he is doing his job, but he has to take your recommendations, like your input, let it simmer, and then come out something
with
like
a bottle of wine. Yeah.
A barber, he has to take your idea, turn it into if he puts a bucket on my head and cuts me a bowl cut, I'm not gonna fucking tip him.
Yeah.
So a lot of these custom services that needs that experience, that customer input, I think those deserve to be tipped because if you don't like the service, you cut my hair and at the end, if I'm happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But if you go out of your way, like my barber, he cuts my hair in a certain way where I can let it up, I can let it down. He tells me your hair on your side grows out sideways. He explains to me everything that's going on. And then I'm like, yo, Johnny, how much do I owe you? He's like, yeah, just give me 50 flat. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'd love to pay you more because that you deserve more.
They brought a level of expertise.
And I think that's what we're starting to lose these days is that normal people doing everyday jobs without any extra things are expecting you to pay more.
Yeah.
Just because they're doing their job.
That's my issue.
It's the thing where, let's say, you're in an airplane, and I think Quebecer people do this very often, where they land a plane and everyone starts clapping. And like, bro, they just did their job. What do you want them to do? Crash the fucking plane?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if they do their job, now we can get into an existential topic about what does it mean to actually do your job. Like, hey, if you press that button like a millisecond faster so you can pass like 2 more people per hour, is that like above and beyond what you're supposed to do? But I think that pretty much like sums it up. For me, I think tipping should be abolished in a way, beside like custom tailored services, and the people who aren't getting paid, number one, either pay them a fair wage, or number 2, go to a commission based system where if they provide a lot of sales, then you pay them a fair wage.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people in the service industry listening to this are gonna have a tough time. Sorry for you guys.
Hey man, I'm in the service industry still. I don't get tipped. I still serve my customers for my
That's
company,
true,
right?
Yeah. I'm a photographer. I don't get tipped.
Yo,
yeah. We love you guys, man.
I'm gonna start putting tip in my parents' store. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put tip on my invoices.
Put the Cash App link in your emails when you.
If you like this episode, we'll have a link to so you could tip 10, 15, 20%.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I just want to shout out to all the bathroom towel boys.
Shout out Francesco's.
Shout out Francesco's.
Just a quick recommendation: don't use Dior Sauvage as your perfume next time.
What if they held it while you pee? Okay.
And so, my name is Dany. Stay tuned for the next
That's
episode
custom.
next week. Here are my co-hosts.
KYP James.
Kevin G.
And remember,
The KYP.
Kill your pride, baby.
You think I'm not that kind of girl. I'm here to tell you, baby.